She's categorized as wifey material, and she's not. She's categorized as ride or die, and she's the hot and kind of psycho, I can't take her seriously type. Without you even knowing, you might be getting unjustly categorized and stereotyped as a type of person to not commit to, as a type of woman to not take seriously. And you can never fix the problem because you just don't know how you're coming across. This categorization is the critical thing between being happily married and never be taken seriously, between being in a committed relationship and being single forever and consistently tossed to the side of the road by men who just don't respect you. If you're finding that men are not committing to you or not even taking you seriously or not respecting you, then this might be the reason why. But there's good news. There's a simple fix to this. And doing this one thing completely changed the way men perceive you, and as a result, how they treat you. Because this is I had that problem. Like for many years, I didn't know that I rubbed people the wrong way, right? And I did a bunch of strategies to try to fix it. Nothing worked. And one day I asked a girl who I knew was honest, and I asked her, what am I doing wrong? And she told me I came across as too arrogant and cocky. And I didn't know I was giving that cocky vibe and I was pushing people away. She told me exactly what I was doing wrong. And then it felt horrible, first of all, but then I sucked it up, cried a bit. And then the next day I was like, from now on, I'm not interrupting. I'm gonna let people speak. I'm gonna speak in a more relaxed way. And I'm not gonna curse around people as much because I was hanging around white people. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. If I'm in Brooklyn, it's different, right? And I did that. And after that, my roommates were like, dude, something's different about you. All of a sudden, everyone wanted to be around in my dates. All of a sudden, women just wanted to hang out with me. It's the one thing, I swear to God, it's the one thing that outside of the meditation retreat, the one thing that I think was the best decision I've ever made. So once I realized how people saw me, because it's very difficult to have that self-awareness, because one, people are not honest with you. Even if you ask people, they're not honest. I got lucky. I found a girl who I knew was kind of like me and was honest enough to tell me the truth, right? Whereas most people, 99% of people, will never tell you the truth. And two, your ego will cause you to not even want to ask people because you feel embarrassed. Your ego does not want you to have that self-awareness. It thrives on insecurity. And learning this removes the insecurity that elicits the need to have an ego. So because of that, this video is aimed to give you that self-awareness, know how men categorize you in their minds, understand why that is and how to change it. We're gonna know there are 13 types of categorization that I've listed of how men perceive you. Then after that, we're gonna know the psychological makeup. Why is it you are the way you are? And two, what are the behavior that you tend to see in men when they categorize you that way? So if somebody sees you as a drama queen or even as a wifey material, what are their behavior that indicates that men see you as wifey material, right? And I think after that, we're gonna talk about how to change that perception. So if you're seen as the promiscuous person, how to change that perception. If you're seen as the boring girl, right? How to change that categorization. Once you're able to know and identify what category people see you in, and then I'll give you a solution. And honestly, those solutions that I'm gonna provide for you work. You know, they work. One, they take time. It does take time sometimes, right? But some of the results, and with some, are instant. So watch it. And remember, this video is what I did to change and have awareness of how other people perceive me, and that literally changed my social life more than anything I've ever done. It just hurts a little bit. So that's one thing I warned you of this, is that it's gonna hurt a little bit to really assess yourself in the way that we're gonna be talking about. Now, if you believe that you have a certain way that you're projecting and you don't have that self-awareness, and you want me to maybe listen to how you talk to me, how you interact with me, or you have some dating situation you want me to listen to and get my feedback, you could just click on the description down below where it says work with Father Alex 101, and there you guys can book a call today. I have 10-minute sessions, 15-minute session, 30-minute session, 45-minute sessions, and you can have the ability to talk with me today. It's not an AI, it's not a computer, it's not AI Alex, right? It's Father Alex, okay? So do that right now, or else I'm gonna close the channel. Let's continue with the video. So the first one is the hopeless romantic. In other words, the nice girl, the Melissas, most of the people who watch my channel. And usually, these are the individuals who fall in love quickly. Honestly, when I say this, I really have some people in mind, right? They fall in love quickly, they idealize people, and because of their unhappiness, their and anxiety, their projections are so strong that it blinds them from the other person, right? And because of that, they have unrealistic expectations. And the psychological makeup of people like that, of individuals like that, is that they're rooted in early bonding experiences. They seek self-worth through love, and they idealize. They come to have romantic notions from movies. And me as a guy, when I see that, I could tell because from the beginning you want the romanticism. You don't wait for the romanticism to arise. You want it from the beginning. And that tends to push people away because that's way too much pressure. They don't know you for you to be making those types of like romantic demands, right? So these individuals seek emotional connections and often express love openly in the hopes that somebody can reciprocate it. They find comfort in relationships and may rely on it to fulfill their needs. And sometimes when they get in a relationship with someone, they could be emotional burdens. I hate to say that, but look, people, everyone has their flaws, okay? And what tends to happen is that they tend to get treated like doormats a lot of the times because they seek validation through intimacy, and it causes them to be easily manipulated because they value romanticism so much that if somebody is mistreating them, they'll rather lie to themselves than admit the fact that maybe they're not the person for them. And when I encounter people like this, the way I noticed that they could, the way that they could change their perception is to lower their expectations. Stop being so freaking romantic. Stop thinking that you're in a Disney movie. Control their fantasies by self-talk, telling themselves it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out because usually when you're like this, you usually have a positive self-talk that's deviated from reality. So negative self-talk, saying it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. And then not allowing your fantasies to visualize a future with them and saying to yourself, oh my God, this person's perfect for me. Don't allow those fantasies to take hold. Once you see the fantasy of you being perfect with them, move it to the side and think of something else. That will keep the expectations low so that you don't get attached too quickly. And above all, find happiness outside of the relationship and assert yourself. If you do that, the energy that you're giving, the creepy energy that causes people to push you away, will lessen over time. Now, the next one is promiscuous one, right? I'll put Madonna there. Look, people, Father Alex doesn't judge, okay? I don't judge. But unfortunately, if you're promiscuous, people will judge you. Now, promiscuity is based on relativity. If everyone in your neighborhood is banging a whole football team, and you bang 5 people, for example, you're not a hoe. Okay, that's just because it's all relative. All right, but if you're freaking Afghanistan and everyone is a virgin and you bang one dude, right, or you kiss a dude, they're gonna stone you, right? So it's kind of So it's kind of like it's all relative. So women like this engage in casual relationships more frequently relative to other women. Perceived as open to sexual encounter, makes more male friends, dresses in a promiscuous way. This is all about perception, fast to sex, and very experienced. So what you'll notice as a guy is that I'm like, yo, this girl knows what she's doing, right? And the way that she dresses is more promiscuous. There's more skin, and a lot of the times they make more male friends, and a lot of their female friends just don't trust them because they're just too flirtatious. And the thing about promiscuity is really you don't have to do this, but if you look like a hoe, women are gonna think you are. It's all, remember, this is all perception. Because you have women who were victims of false rumors, and then people thought they were when in reality they weren't. You know, and it sucks, man, because you know, like when you didn't do nothing and people are blaming or calling you that could be frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Now, the psychological makeup of women who are promiscuous is that from what I've seen, a lot of the times when you're very promiscuous, maybe sometimes you were touched, right, as kids, right? Sad but true. Maybe they had an inappropriate relationship with their parents of the opposite sex, right? It may not have been negative, but maybe it was a little bit too inappropriate. Sometimes they seek validation through intimacy. They've been taught to, for example, like some kids have this relationship with their parents where it seems very flirtatious, but it really isn't. But the kid sometimes associates with being flirtatious with getting attention from dad, or you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they just got inappropriate attention as kids. And sometimes they were touched, right? So they don't have those normal barriers. They may struggle with self-worth, seeking validation through physical intimacy. This behavior can stem from a need for affirmation and acceptance. And the way that they get treated is that guys look down on them. Even if you're considered one, and you have male friends, the guys cannot help but judge. It's just in their nature. They may not get the respect or commitment that they want. They're viewed for their physical interaction and may have a bunch of guy friends, and unfortunately with those guy friends, they talk bad about you. They do. That's just how that works, people. Guys are very judgmental about sex with women. It's hypocritical, and you just don't get you don't get taken as seriously as you want to be taken. The strategies to change this perception. One, the problem is that once you're considered one, it's very hard to take it out, right? Because people talk, and some women are vindictive. Some women know you're not that type of person, and yet they'll talk bad about you. What you got to do is just, one, the way that you dress. The first thing people notice, if you are one, is the way that you dress provocatively, with a lot of colors and a lot of skin. You just gotta dress conservatively. Don't have sex with people outside of you. Have sex with people outside of your social circle. The mistake that a lot of women have is that they just have sex with people within their social circle, and those dudes just cannot shut the fuck up, right? So they talk around and they tell people. So make sure to be banging people across the city, not in your neighborhood. Go across the neighborhood. In fact, cross state lines, all right? Because when you bang people in your social circle, people talk. And unfortunately, women, throughout their whole lives, they're going to sleep with people. And the way that people are is that when you sleep with 3 people, you slept with 10. That's how that works. It's a wildfire. Dress conservatively, and don't bang the whole football team. And hopefully people will stop thinking of you that way, right? Now, look, the next one is friends with benefits. There are 2 types of friends with benefits, okay? The liked and the ones that are not liked, okay? The liked one, they enjoy casual sex with a man. But there are 2 types of friends with benefits, right? The one where they find you physically attractive, and you have potential to build something more, and they have chemistry with you also, or physically attractive or chemistry, or they don't find you physically attractive and they want to put you in and then they may want to make sure no one's looking. Okay, we're gonna talk about this one right now. The psychological makeup of somebody who accepts a friends with benefit situation is that they just desire connection without commitment, honestly. They might be too busy, or maybe they got out of a relationship, but they want to balance their independence, and it's a way to avoid commitment. And this is very famous nowadays because a lot of people just avoid commitment. A lot of people, truth is that people are just afraid to look vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? People are afraid to look vulnerable, to be hurt. So the arrangement allows them to maintain that while having some form of intimacy. And usually the way they get treated when you're friends with benefits, it really depends on the guy, right? It depends on the guy and his projection and how they see you. But generally speaking, 15% of the times it leads to a relationship, friends with benefits. Usually it fizzles out. It's usually, and usually you don't get taken out too much, but you will meet their friends. You may not meet their family, but you will meet their friends if they find you attractive or if they like you. If you guys have chemistry, what tends to happen is that after 2 or 3 months, it builds into a relationship. But, friends with benefits, it's not something negative. It's not negatively associated, so it shouldn't be a problem. And in fact, it's not a bad way to start a relationship, to be honest with you. I mean, sometimes you get to know them through that way, and it leads to something. It's great time. Honestly, I had a lot of great friends with benefits. Some good, some bad. But, it's not a bad thing. Now, how do you change it? How do you get out of that friends with benefits? After 2 or 3 months, they don't want a relationship, leave, people. After 2 or 3 months, you just gotta leave, okay? Simply because people know you after 2 or 3 months. What more do they need to know about you? What more? Okay? So yeah, that's one thing. Moonwalk your ass back. Hee. That's what I said, right? Now the next one is friends with benefits, but they're ashamed of you. Right? Involves feelings of embarrassment, or secrecy, often the unattractive partner, and usually they're gonna treat you like shit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You're not gonna be happy in that relationship. Anytime a guy does not want to show you their friends, they are ashamed of you, or they're hiding something. But never tolerate this. I really feel bad for anyone in this situation. And wanna know why? Because I've been with women who I was ashamed of. Honestly, wait a minute. I don't think I was ashamed. I think my friends looked at me and said, "Why aren't you ashamed?" Man, I'm not even go there. So yeah, man. They find you often an unattractive partner. It sucks, man. Honestly, man. Because look, man. I bet I've been the one that they were ashamed of. That's true. It's okay. I've been the one. I know a lot of you guys are ashamed that you guys watch my channel. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you guys watch me in incognito mode. Yeah, incognito mode. You don't think I don't know about that? Yeah. So yeah. Now the psychological makeup of this, unfortunately, is These women may accept such relationships due to low self-esteem and fear of rejection. They prioritize connection over recognition, hoping hidden relationships might lead to something more. Fear of loneliness and not being chosen can make them settle for less. People, I read that and it makes me sad because I feel bad. I can literally, it's almost like I can see myself in their minds, like me walking through a labyrinth. I can see that feeling, and it feels bad, man. Nobody deserves to be treated that way, to be honest with you. I really do feel bad for people who, I'm trying to be nice here, people, okay? So yeah, man. So how do you, now, the way that they get treated, like I said, is minimal communication, minimal eye contact. I'll literally look at your feet more than your face. Like, not like monotone, also, exclusion from social circle, and usually you guys don't spend too much time together after you do the holy dizzy, So yeah, strategies to change perception: leave them or get in shape. Usually they're just judging you based on how you look. It's just that simple. We're gonna talk about the psycho girl, right? You could have emotional problems and they won't be embarrassed of you as much. Unfortunately, guys are superficial, man. They sort of judge people based on that. It's just how that is. The next one is the ratchet hood, right? Sexy red type of shit. See me outside type of shit, man. Look, people. I understand if you're in fucking Philly and that's all you could date. I've been to Philly. I've dated ratchet chicks too, Yeah. Like when I'm in New York City, when I'm on Tinder, I'm like no Bronx people, okay? But the thing about ratchet people is not that they're badly educated. I'll be honest with you. I don't think so. I just think they're very honest, as opposed to highly educated people that just know how to act. But honestly, ratchet people are just too honest for their own good sometimes. They're known for bold, often flamboyant style, sometimes seen as unrefined, low educated. They love to keep it real. You know what I'm saying, right? And the thing about that is that sometimes it's nice, but most people just look down on that because it shows no reading the room. Like for example, me, I was pretty ratchet, even on YouTube. Remember how I used to make my videos? I curse a lot, be inappropriate, say just a lot of dirty words, man, just rude as shit, and it turned people off. They saw my content as quality. You may not because you're mature, but you're not most people. So it's kind of like it matters not to be looked at as too hood. You could be hood, little hints of hood, that's fine. But keeping it real all the way, come on, man. Like, so usually the psychological insights that they come from a place where keeping it real, it's a value system. And that's why Dave Chappelle said, when keeping it real goes wrong. Strongly expressive, unconventional. They use bold behavior to assert their identity, often challenges societal norms and reflects an authentic self-presentation, prioritizing individuality over conformity. And that's what I like about hood people, that they keep it real. They don't lie to you. But the problem is that outside the hood, it doesn't help. It's just how that works, people, right? It could be white, black, Asian, doesn't matter. Hood is hood, no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the way they get treated a lot of times is that they just don't get that much respect. People, you gotta learn how to code switch. If you're hood as fuck, you gotta learn how to code switch a little bit. Me not cursing is code switching, right? So they're not taken seriously and they're stereotyped by their appearance. They're just stereotyped. It's just how that works. Now the strategies to change this perception is to don't keep it real all the time. Learn not to keep things real. Leave Maury and Jerry Springer on the door, people, and stop keeping it real. That's all you got to do. Stop cursing, right? Learn just to be like I feel like I'm sounding racist talking about this, to be honest with you. Right? But keep Jerry Springer out the door, man. That's all I got to say, man. Now the next one is my favorite one. The wifey material, ladies and gentlemen. Seen as someone who with long-term potential, nurturing, adheres to gender roles, dresses conservatively, have a softness to them, may come across sexually inexperienced. People, look, I've been with a woman who's a hybrid of that. Freaky in the bed, but devoted to God. And what I know is about this, to give off this vibe, right? Well, first of all, the way I see you is that I treat you better. I see you as long-term relationship material. Something about skimpy clothing that makes me not see you as long-term material, right? But usually, when you and the way to give off this vibe is to just act meek. Don't be so extroverted. Be more meek, be more quiet, submissive. Always remember, surrender when you're really strong. All right. Always, if you're strong, look weak. If you're weak, look strong. So look humble, submissive, when in reality you're strong in the inside because you watch my channel, and it'll give off the wifey vibe. Honestly, like, guys don't like freaking Terminator girls, right? Because we're gonna talk about Terminator girls. So, in dressing conservatively, and they adhere to gender roles, so they have the gender role skills. They know how to cook, they know how to clean, they know how to keep a man happy, pretty much, right? I know it sounds, all the feminists out there, I get it, right? Now, why did they become that way? Well, usually, psychologically, they just were raised in a traditional gender family, like mom, dad. You know, they had a gender roles, or they're religious, and also their behavior is seeking respect through fulfilling traditional expectations. They value routine, they value consistency, and they value being a wife. They value being a mother, and they seek someone who values that, right? And it works perfectly, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, conservative people are the ones that are going to live longest, and conservative people live longer. And usually the way that you get treated is that typical treatment is that generally respected. You're just generally respected by other people. It's very rarely do you see people talking bad about conservative women outside of political parties, right? Respected, considered for commitment, marriage, sometimes seen as outdated and boring by toxic men. But generally speaking, they have a great reputation in the dating world, right? Now, the strategy to change that perception: show more skin, show more impulsivity, more adventure, seek. What am I saying? I'm teaching like how to be and seek thrill, man. Look, man, if you're that, you don't have to change, man. Honestly, don't change. Now, gold diggers, yeah, gold diggers. Look, people, I don't judge gold diggers. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't judge gold diggers. Usually, gold diggers come from poor environments. And that's why I don't judge them. I just don't. I cannot judge someone who wants money. I cannot judge someone who wants that type of lifestyle. And usually, gold diggers are the equivalent of men who objectify women, right? Where a woman sees guys as an object for money, a man sees you as an object for sex. And that's why, a lot of escorts tend to be have little gold digger qualities. But these types of women, as you can see here, that's the gold digger symbol. As you can see here, they're attracted to wealth and luxury, prioritizes material gain in relationships, and sees men as objects. And usually these women tend to be very objectified by men, right? Because the way that guys see it is that if you're gonna want my money, I want some poom poom. I want some poom poom. And they usually get mistreated, objectified. They never truly experience a connection because all they value is the money, just like the guys who only value the sex in a woman. And the origins of them is that they come from an environment of financial instability, like I said. They're driven by a desire for financial security. Come on, man, that makes a lot of sense, man. Their behavior is often strategic, pursuit to fulfill perceived survival or status need. And you can see how that offends guys, but for me, I see that, and it gives, at least for me, it gives me empathy towards them. It really does. They're not bad people. Guys hate them, but because I get it, but they're not bad people. They're just people who want, they want something in life. You know what I'm saying? And usually they get treated with suspicion regarding intentions, often tested on financial interests, right? So, because they have a reputation of wanting your money, and so how do you pass those tests? In the first date, if you're on a date with a rich guy, order the cheapest thing on the menu. Don't order the fucking cow. Okay, the golden cow. Order the cheap things on the menu. Let first impressions matter. If your first impression is to ask for the whole cow, then they're gonna see you as a gold digger, and they're gonna be suspicious. But if you first ask for something simple, give me the fucking white rice made by a white guy, they're gonna be like, okay. There's a Fresh Prince video about that where she was gonna order the lobster and she said, no, I don't want the lobster, and she was like, baby, that's too expensive. And Will Smith looked at the camera and was like, right? So yeah, these women tend to be objectified, and over time, if they keep doing this, they can't turn that objectification thing off. They just get objectified to the wazoo, and they appear to not. So how do you change that perception? Well, it just appear to not want money, man. Don't dress so lavishly. If you're gonna be into lavish, say no to the money from men. I swear to God, if you say no to the money that they offer you, I promise you they'll give you more. I know that for sure. That's how guys are. Now, the Terminator girls, right? The ambitious girls, the girls that are good at making money, the baby sugar mamas, right? We all love a sugar mama. These women they remind me of my boss Georgina. She was like that, but she was sweet, so she wasn't masculine. She just had a masculine side. These women exhibit traditional male traits, as in self-sufficiency, career focus. And a lot of times she's the one that bangs dudes don't bang her. She bangs them. Like in Amsterdam, right? I remember when I first went there, I was shocked by how direct these women were. I would go to the bars. I mean, I would just walk in the streets and they'll come up to me. They're like, "You're cute. Here's my number." And I'm like, the fuck is going on? I mean, and she's like, "Yeah, call me." And I will call. And after the date, I'll be like, "Okay, I got to pay." She's like, "No, we split it." I'm like, "Okay, all right." Right? And then they tell me like, we're in their living room, and they're like, "Okay, enough drink. Let's go to the room." And I'm like, what the fuck? I never seen this type of boldness. It's how they are. Some women are just, they bang you. You don't bang them, they bang you. Or they like to call it boss bitches, right? And why did they become that way? What's the psychological makeup? Well, first of all, women like that, I'll be honest with you, women like that lose a little bit of sexiness. They lose a little bit of femininity. It's almost like your skin losing a little bit elasticity. There's just something about a self-assured woman that I know that sounds so sexist, but there's just something about the sturdiness and the lack of femininity of a self-assured woman that it just loses that feminine edge. I don't know how to explain it. And guys, what they'll tell you, like, honestly, these types of women, they'll tell you they have unsatisfying sex. When a woman earns more than a man, guys have higher propensity of suffering from erectile dysfunction. It just sucks more. I mean, the sex is less fulfilling. Now, the psychological insight often stemming from environments that emphasize self-reliance or independence. These women might have been encouraged to break through traditional gender roles, feminism, norms valuing autonomy and strength. That's why when you go to Germany, all the dudes in Germany are so freaking passive, honestly. Like when I went to Germany the first time, I swear to God, I saw one of the best looking guys I've ever seen in my life. Oh my fucking God, he's gay. Shut up. Okay. And he had like a fucking paper, like a French thing, the turtleneck. And when he entered, his girl opened the door. And I swear to God, what I'm about to tell you is not a lie. It's not a lie. First of all, they're one of the best good looking couples I've ever seen in my life. They sat down. They ordered their food. The guy's plate was put in front of him. The woman picked up his fork and in plain public light started feeding the guy. I was like, this is fucking out of pocket. I never seen anything like that. How is this guy so strong? Let's keep going. Typical treatment. May face challenges in being approached romantically. May feed their dudes. Often seen as intimidating. They find the men they date as feminine and have unfulfilling sex. They do well in the business world, though. They're really good at that. But in their love life, they struggle. And how do you change that perception? Well, first of all, start meditating, okay? Stop being so serious. Start smiling more. And don't tell people. Show some weakness. Dress more feminine. Let him do all the work. Diminish your success. Don't talk about how successful you are. Hide your wealth and learn to need someone emotionally. Learn to reach out for help, right? And learn to let a guy lead. Learn to be a follower. And this is something that a lot of boss bitches might find offensive, but that's just how you got to do it, girl. Like, you can't be full on Terminator mode on these guys, man. They don't like that shit, man. Now, this is a lot of guys' favorite one, the MILF, right? The J-Lo. They're attractive older women, and usually sometimes they're attracted to guys, younger guys. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of calls from MILFs about dating younger guys. First of all, don't date younger guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. You could bang them, but don't expect a relationship from them. So yeah, they dress in a provocative way. They are flirts. Sometimes they're mothers. And honestly, I'm not into them, but a lot of guys find them attractive. And the truth is, a lot of guys find them attractive because they're more sexual than younger girls. So psychologically, the way their makeup, in my opinion, a lot of the times you get older and you wanna relive your youth through banging a younger guy. That's what sometimes happens. Or sometimes they've been neglected by their husbands, so they want some young dick, right? Sounds like a rapper, Young Dick, right? Hey man, I'm Young Dick. Young Gay. When is Young Gay coming out? I would love to see a rapper called Young Gay or Young Homo. So yeah, some women gravitate towards younger guy mainly due to vitality and energy. They have their, because they're older guys, they can't bang these women the same, man. You gotta get fucking Tyrone, the personal trainer, And then, hey, what is going on? This is Tyrone. What are you doing revealing these secrets? I thought we stopped this. I left 1 year to raise my family because I have a kid. Tyrone 3.0. Yeah, that's right. That's his name. 3.0. He's going to have a signature for that. Anyways, you still teaching this? I cannot believe it. Anyways, I gotta go. Okay, all right, Tyrone making an appearance. I guess Tyrone 3.0. You know, only Tyrone would name all 3 of his kids Tyrone. I swear to God, man. So yeah, psychological makeup. They bring a refreshing dynamic, right? Combining maturity with attractiveness. They often exude confidence, and they have a certain sense of wisdom and a certain distance while maintaining an air of mystery that keeps guys intrigued and fascinated. It's honestly, personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not into MILFs, and I personally don't get it, but you know, a lot of my guy friends love MILFs, and I remember I would strategically go out with my guy friend who loved older women. Right, because you know that's a daughter. I go for the daughter. You go for the mom. You know, for example, I would love to go out. I always love going out with my cousin, because he was into big women. Like he was into like fucking borderline dying of diabetes type of women. So he was a perfect wingman. It was incredible, man. Now, the typical treatment is that it's usually just a sexual relationship. Okay, it's usually sexual relationship. You may not see their friends and family, and sometimes men fall in love with them, you know, and sometimes the woman falls in love with the guy. But it's never a two-way type of thing. It's never the both falling in love together, to be honest with you. And usually they get treated by society. Society looks down more on women who date younger guys than older guys dating younger women. Like it sucks. So they get more judged by society. And how do you change that perception? Look, man, I'm not gonna tell you to stop banging dudes, but you know, like if you want to change your perception, just stop banging younger guys. It's that simple, man. Now, the Psycho. Listen, people, follow Alex and Joy Psycho because they provide a service that other people don't. They're crazy for a reason. They know how to plead. And another, because a lot of the times when you have, unfortunately, legit mental health issues, like for example, women with autism display hypersexuality a lot. People with ADHD display hypersexuality. People with mental health issues, bipolarism, display hypersexuality. So a lot of the times these psycho girls tend to be really good in bed. But the problem is that they encompass 2 types, right? There's 2 types of psycho. The hot psycho, which is attractive but emotionally unpredictable, and the normal psycho, which is prone to emotional outbursts, right? And usually psychologically, when we see women like that, we sort of, you know, when you see a crazy person and you kind of like say, okay, they're crazy, and you put them in another mental category. You know, you don't take them that seriously. Like when somebody's crazy and they say something, you hear it, but you don't take it seriously, right? It's kind of like the same where they don't really take you that seriously as much if they know that you have problems, right? Unfortunately, you know, humans are good at catching people who are neurodivergent. They have an instinct for that. It's like humans are really good at catching people who have ADHD or autism. And usually the psychological makeup of psycho girls, unfortunately, is that they've been through, maybe they're traumatized, right? I mean, usually you could tell the psychoness in the eyes and in the voice. They speak fast, intense eyes, twitchy movement, fast emotional outbursts. They fall in love quickly. They send you books and on books. They have no sense of barriers. I mean, I remember I dated one psycho chick. She got mad at me because we went to a restaurant and had... She didn't like the restaurant. She got mad at me for that. She was like, and I was like, "Yo, you want to go to a movie?" And she was like, "A movie? You taking me to a movie, bitch?" And then I was like, "Yeah." And she was a girl one time. The first time I met her, she was in my apartment and she was talking loud, like loud. I was like, "Yo, lower the voice." Like Jesus Christ, even Puerto Ricans will call you loud. And she had that psycho vibe. And what gave her that vibe is her crying instantly before even knowing me, like just going through an emotional outburst in the first fucking hour of meeting her, you know. But she was hot, so I forgave her. And so remember, the psychological insight is that emotional intensity from early on, instability or neglect, unfortunately, from their parent. They have an emotional intensity and they're very unpredictable. They'll hate you one moment and they'll love you the next. And you know, it creates excitement, you know, but also it creates anxiety. So it's not good to be with them, unfortunately. And the way that they get treated is that they're pursued for their excitement, but often avoided for serious commitment with caution and emotional investment. In other words, they you know, like a lot of guys just don't respect that and they don't commit long term, and which aggravates the craziness, you know. Like it kind of sucks, you know. I feel bad. I read these things and it doesn't make me happy reading this. Now, how do you change that perception? Work on your mental health, boo-boo. Work on your mental health. Go get help, okay? See a psychologist. Don't meditate, but not too much, because if you genuinely have psychosis or any mental health issues, meditation might aggravate it. So that's why you got to see a mental health specialist. But work on your mental health. Work on not opening up too fast. Don't be overly dramatic. Work on not crying in front of people that you don't know. Work on not showing so much emotional outbursts. You could show emotions, but don't go full on like emotional outbursts before you even know them. You know what I'm saying? Now, the adventurer. I've met women like that when I travel a lot, and sometimes this could be similar to the promiscuous girl too. Right? They are thrill seekers. They cheat a lot. Anyways, let's keep going. Loves adventure, loves the new, is able to form connection, but also separate themselves really quickly. They're very charismatic. And you usually don't if they travel a lot, you see them once, you may never see them again. People who love to live off dopamine, so they might be more prone to drug addictions. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They may cheat more. They're not faithful, and you got to be careful with them, because they may have habits that you don't want to gain. Just how that works. And people see them as exciting. They're charismatic as fuck, right? Now, why are they like that? Well, generally, the psychological insight is that they're motivated by personal growth, success. They thrive on new experiences and challenges. They get bored very easily, so that's why they tend to cheat a lot. Their focus on achievements can sometimes overshadow personal relationships. So, as a friend, they might be there, but they're distant. But propels them towards continual self-improvement. Now, the way that they get treated, like I said, is that they're exciting. They're fun to be around. They really are. But what sucks is that they get bored. They're looking for news, so they never really establish long relationships. So a lot of the times, they'll have partners that really like them a lot. That really, really, really like them a lot, and they're obsessed with them. And usually, it's not the fun type of obsession, because it's love that you will never get, right? And unfortunately for the adventurer, they don't value consistency. They value newness, and again, they're dopamine seekers. And how do you change that perception? Meditate. Stop looking for thrill. Practice simplicity. Practice finding happiness in the simple things in life, and learn to deepen the connections that you have. Learn that less is more. Value long-term connections with people, and stop seeking new connections all the time, and just narrow the amount of people that you know, and find ways to deepen the connection that you have with them. Okay. Now, the empath, right? The nurturer. And I see Hailey Bieber as this. This person attracts a lot of narcissists. They're naturally caring people, often as emotional. They're very emotional, but they're caring. They're very similar to Melissa, right? But the difference here is, honestly, they're kind of similar to each other. But the problem is that they feel pain. They feel other people's experiences to the point that it becomes a burden, and they're very easily manipulated by an empath. In fact, sometimes the nurturer or the empath are a reverse narcissist. They're part of the same coin, and usually they attract narcissists like Justin Bieber. And why are they like that? Well, look at Hailey Bieber. Look at her dad. They sometimes they're raised by narcissistic parents. Being raised by narcissistic parents might make you an empath or a narcissist yourself. And the thing is that they prioritize care and empathy, often deriving self-worth from supporting others, right? So they tend to be psychologists, artists. That's me. I'll be honest with you, that's me. It is what it is. And often derive self-worth from helping other people. So a lot of times you see them, they're the types of people who volunteer to help people. They're good people, honestly. They just make bad decisions, man. They just make bad decisions. I don't know what else to say. They're very reliable. They're really good people. The problem with these people is that they get jaded over time. They get sick and tired of being played by people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you can't be given so much. You can't be given so much. Or sometimes these kids had parents who wanted a parent, and so they start parenting the parent. So they associate helping people and giving support with love. And the way they get treated is that they're doormats. They get taken advantage of. They become other people's therapists at their own cost, and they value emotional support. But sometimes they just get taken advantage of by friends and family and relationships, and they tend to attract narcissistic people. You know, it kind of sucks because, you know, they're very sensitive people. And yeah, man. And how do you change that perception? You got to develop a backbone. Stop being so nice and stop being so freaking forgetful. Stop being so forgetful. Don't fall for those sob stories. Oh, I'm so sad. Because you guys, the empaths, you guys fall for people who have a shitty life story, right? Control your desire to help everyone, every person. Stop it, right? Let some people fall. Let some people perish. Okay, don't fall for the sob story. Control your nonverbal cues when you're in front of people. Control those like that. Control it. Learn to have a stoic, serious face, right? Because the empathy, the amount of empathy that you show people when you first meet, will highlight people how easily you are to manipulate. If you're very reactive to what people say, which people can see in the face, then some people will take that cue and say, okay, this person can easily be manipulated. Right. And like I said, if you're that, I would highly recommend you check out my course, Nice Girl. You know, Nice Girl is a course that I've developed to develop more assertiveness, to not let people take advantage of you, right? So you could purchase that course by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase my courses. And I have a bunch of other courses like Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationship, to Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course for women who are single. Emotional Mastery is a course on how to develop emotional resilience and how to control your emotions. And my latest one, The Feminine Woman, it's a course on how to embrace your feminine energy while embracing your masculine energy. It's pretty much a self-help course for women. If I had to make a course for my nieces, that's the course, you know. Or you could purchase all of them in one bundle by clicking on the description down below. I call it the Mindful Attraction University. You can get all of my courses in one go. So yeah, the strategies to, okay, I already talked about that. Okay. So the narcissistic woman, this woman is very attractive to guys. They are very, very attractive because they are a blank slate that they could project their insecurities onto. And the way that they are is that they're very confident, attention seeking. She often puts herself first, likes being the spotlight. Her charm can draw people in. These are the most attractive women. The problem with these women is that they're empty inside. They have no sense of fulfillment on the inside. They have a bottomless pit of desire for attention, and you can never fulfill it for them. And like I said, these women come across as very exciting, very interesting from the beginning, very charismatic. And the way that they are, a lot of the times they had narcissistic parents as well. They had child neglect, raised in a narcissistic household. They need constant praise and attention to feel good about themselves because deep down they just feel empty. They might not feel their own self-worth, and because of that, you become an object of self-esteem. And usually these women get adored by men. They get freaking adored. People admire them. They want to be like them. And also they display a certain coldness that makes people want to be around them more. And men who had a distant mother, a lot of the times may get attracted to women like this because they affect a projection. I tell people you don't have to be a narcissist. Just apply some of the strategies that narcissists use without being a narcissist, and you'll get a lot of results from that. Now, how to change that? If you're a narcissist, you can't change. You can't change. I'm sorry. It's impossible. If you're a narcissist, you will never feel the need to change. That's why, you know? So you could try to listen to others and care more about others, focusing on building real relationships that aren't just about you. But if you're a narcissist, it's all about you. So yeah, there's no solution to that. I don't know. Actually, maybe erase this part. But yeah, man. Now, the next one, cheater. Jesus Christ. You know, I've been lucky. I've never been cheated on, or maybe I have and I just haven't. But these women struggle with commitment, often looking for excitement. Like I said, they're thrill seekers. This is why thrill seekers, if I know you love jumping off of fucking planes, I'm not dating you because I know most likely you're gonna cheat. I don't want no adrenaline seeker. I don't want no adrenaline junkie as a partner. That's just me. I don't want that. Because you have no control over your impulses. It's just that simple. So they struggle with commitment, often looking for excitement or something new outside of their main relationship. They'll get bored of you quickly. A lot of times they either have ADHD, but some mental health issue. That's just how. For example, ADHD people get bored quickly and get excited with very little. No, they require a lot to get excited. Bored quickly, but whenever they like something, they like it with intent. So you can see how they may get bored of you quickly, but if they meet someone, that person excites them so much that they won't be able to control themselves. It's really a neurological thing, and I like to think it's inherited because the psychological makeup of cheaters, Some women may engage in cheating due to unmet emotional needs, seeking the intimacy and understanding they feel is lacking in their current relationship. The allure and novelty and excitement can also drive them to seek new experiences outside of their partnership. Additionally, low self-esteem or dissatisfaction with their relationship may lead them to seek validation or fulfillment elsewhere. Cheating is also inherited. If mama cheated, she might cheat on you. Ask them if her mama and dad cheated. Because it's inherited. It's heritable. Cheating is heritable. Just like drug addictions are heritable, it's a neural thing. Cheaters cannot control their impulses. It's just that simple. They cannot control their impulses, and they get bored very quickly. So how do people treat them? They may find it harder to trust them. They may have more male friends than female friends because female friends don't trust them with their man. And yeah, it's just strange relationship. You know, I feel bad to a certain degree because some people are addicted to cheating. That's why I tell people, if you're a cheater, don't be in a relationship. Don't hurt people. Like, don't be in if you're a cheater, don't be in a relationship. Like, honestly, why you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, come on, man. Now, strategies is to overcome this. Control your impulses, people. Control your impulses. Meditate. Practice meditation. You need to control that impulse. It's not a matter of control your impulses. Get out of social media, okay, and go to a place where there's no one around. Get out of cities. If you're a cheater and you're a city, it's like a fucking fish in water. It's a perfect environment to cheat. Go to the fucking village. Go somewhere where you're not around too many people, because you are only as faithful as your options. You know, and seek therapists too. Or go to a 10-day Vipassana retreat. I genuinely think that will help you a lot. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even joking. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And look, man, if you're any of these and you want to be able to apply this strategy in your life and you don't know how to, work with me one-on-one. Book a one-on-one phone call so that you could talk with Father Alex, you know? Or what you guys can do, you guys can, like I said, become part of the Mindful Attraction Universe. And there you guys can purchase all of my courses: the Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, the Charisma Blueprint, which is a course to develop more charisma, Feminine Woman. All of these courses, in my opinion, is all you ever need to improve your relationships, improve in your life. Because even in the Feminine Woman, it's a self-help course. So I teach you guys the strategies that I use for manifestation. I teach you guys strategies on how to build groups, on how to be a leader, how to develop long-term patience and short-term patience, how to think long-term, how to think like a man and think like a woman, how to be feminine while embracing the masculine so that you don't get taken advantage of. Right? You guys can purchase that individually by clicking on the description down below. They're all of my courses are $99, or you can purchase all of them, which is like 6 of them for $300. You know, it's affordable, people. So you could have Father Alex as your professor, right? And if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. I am not gonna close the channel if you do that. So yeah, man, check it out, and yeah, you guys will see me inside if you purchase it.